walk near to those apples if you want.
Fresh?
It is.
Like this one?
Yes, sir. Want to try it?
Uh-huh.
And give the review. Oh, you got a knife as well?
You gotta have a knife.
Okay.
Perfect.
This is a journey, and as we all know, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Now, this particular journey involved a sophisticated Texan who traveled 12,000 kilometers, 8,000 miles from home, straight into the midst of the tallest and most majestic mountains in the world. We began from the capital of Pakistan, Islamabad. Mr. Bart Owens took his first step on Pakistan's soil here. This may have been a small step for man, but a giant leap for a Texan. Islamabad is the capital city of Pakistan, the seat of national government, much like Washington, D.C. In that, no one lived on these lands till they were fully designed and structured.
Good morning.
Good morning from Pakistan.
From Pakistan. We are in Ogi, Pakistan. Ogi is a village about 2.5 hours north of Islamabad. And the weather's beautiful.
It's a good day.
The mountains are just incredible. Such a pleasure to be here. From Texas.
Ogi is a small country village with a bustling bazaar, mountains covered in lush pine trees, and Ogi would not be complete without our hard-working farmers. Bart stayed the night here after being introduced to his Pakistani host. This place is called the belly of the whale. According to the evolutionary biologists, the birth of the entire whale species began in the mountains of Pakistan and is referred to as Pakistan. After departing from Ogi and spending the night at the popular domestic tourist destination, Naran, we continued our ascent through one of the highest passes in the world, Babusa. This pass is an engineering marvel. Every year this road closes due to extreme snowfall, and every year after the extreme snowfall, this pass gets reconstructed. We have departed the KPK province and entered Gilgit Baltistan, also known as GB. Further along, before entering the main city of Gilgit, there is a path which leads toward Fairy Meadows. This is considered one of the most dangerous roads on earth. Although we chose not to visit, we did get a view of Nanga Parbat.
Okay, so we're standing in front of Nanga Parbat, the 9th largest mountain in the world. Also known as the Killer Mountain, because of climate accidents and things that have occurred on the attempts to reach the peak. I'll have to say it's quite impressive.
While entering Gilgit city, we were faced with yet another spectacle of nature, also known as Junction Point. Perhaps the biggest and most colossal junction in the world. This is the place where the 3 tallest mountain ranges collide, and yet it doesn't have a name.
Been put in for the day. Let's look out here. Something very special.
Yeah, obviously. You are in Gilgit city.
Gilgit, northern area of Pakistan. We need to find a bookstore.
Bookstore?
What is a man without a bookstore?
Nothing.
Books are a gateway to the galaxy, a gateway to history, a gateway to the future, a gateway to Pakistan.
Gateway to Pakistan, yeah. Gateway to these mountains.
Look at this view. This is Zeeshan.
Yeah. I have to check what mountain is this.
That's probably 25, 26, correct? With that much snow?
I'm not sure. I'll have to check. But you know, when you get to Gilgit, like wherever you see around you, you're gonna see some spectacle.
Turquoise and emerald. The gentleman mines it. That's his business. And antique. How much?
It's a traditional flour mill, sir. Traditional flour mill, something 600
Right.
years ago, and the villagers, the people around here, they bring their wheats and they grind here in this traditional flour mill. Basically, there is a water channel behind it, and the water, they come through a channel and it hits the fan under the
Gentlemen, after our stay at Serena Gilgit, now we are going towards Skardu But, which is like 30 minutes away from the main city. And Skardu But has some special literature which I will share with you people. So that's about it for now. Skardu But is a reminder of our ancient past. Prior to the comparatively brief 70-year history of Pakistan, our lands were referred to as Hindustan for several thousand years. Before the 1400-year obedience towards Islam, there was a 2000-year practice of Buddhism in the valley. Now, Hunza is like poetry. You enter the place and all of a sudden, you sense a mystical fragrance in the air. Sitting under the alpine majesty of Rakaposhi, admiring local handicrafts like hand-spun woolen pakol, and eating the traditional chapshor. Ladies and ladies, this is the epitome of mountain life in Pakistan. What? Pizza.
Meat
It's like a pizza, but the name of it is...
No, he'll tell us.
What's the name?
Chap shoro.
Chap shoro. This is chap shoro,
Chap shoro.
the specialty of Gilgit Baltistan.
Big Mac.
What?
I love his
Big
Mac.
Mac.
Chap shoro. We're on board. This could.
Our morning will be remembered for a long time. Magpies chattering amongst the trees, while above soft puffy clouds encircle the sky, creating an enchanting ambience to kick off the day. So, ladies and ladies, Mr. Bart, y'all having a good time?
Nice shot at Texan. I'm
learning.
I'm teaching him Texan. I'm not sure where this is going, but we're having a good time.
Inspiration. When inspired men can create amazing structures, incredible books can also be written. This mesmerizing location turned our friend Bart into a poet. These are just some of the possibilities when visiting Hunza. Now, the heart of Hunza is flanked by two UNESCO World Heritage Sites, the original 1,000-year-old Altit Fort and the subsequent 800-year-old Baltit Fort.
Oh.
Was it tickets?
Oh.
I see that. Thank you for having me. Thank you for your smiles this morning.
You can start talking if you want.
Well, it's interesting to understand the history of Altic Fort and how it's transcended and been remodeled through the hundreds of years it's been here. And so now I'm just absorbing the whole history. That damn crow's been flying back and forth.
You go there. Stand there.
All right, we're gonna move slow. Just a minute. It takes time to move big armor.
So when you will drink tea, so go out for jogging.
Mr. Javed, our guide, a PhD in Rumiology, walked us through the cavernous maze within the ancient structure.
Well, what you want in here is you want a short 10-inch M4.
Okay.
You could really make a mess. But this is
like
this is waste of my brain, knowing such things.
Yeah.
Right?
So this was conference hall.
Jirga?
Jirga, you got it right.
Pakhtun language Jirga.
Yeah.
Can you repeat that, Javed?
Om, Mani, Padma, Whom.
With the
In
rhythm?
Islam, we say who.
Who?
Who.
Yeah.
So, but they repeat whom. This is, yeah.
That's gonna go on Moon River too.
He practiced that. Yeah. Very interesting. Thank you.
Despite being a remote village, Hunza offers a decent library full of useful literature, much of which is in the English language. Hunza's library is designed using the traditional locally sourced wood, stone, and glass materials.
In the English section, this is poetry, but this becomes fiction, which is fiction writing. And as I look here, the magic that's here is the book Lonesome Dove. And so the story of Lonesome Dove is two famous Texas Rangers, Woodrow Call and Augustus McCrae. And they lived in a little town in South Texas called Lonesome Dove. And they created their fortune by stealing cattle from Mexico, driving it to Montana, and building a big ranch. But in the process of, the whole story is about the adventure of going to Montana on horseback.
After honoring the old, it is necessary to also appreciate the new. Therefore, after Altit, we must visit the colorful Baltit Fort. The distance between the two forts is less than 2 miles and can easily be traversed on foot. But what you see and experience in transit is a kaleidoscope of cultures, over 6 unique languages, and variety of religious denominations. In the local bazaars, you will find Buddhist-inspired clothing, ancient gems, and valuable stones from the Mughal era. Bart had a keen eye for the age-old tradition of rug making. He found Afghani, Uzbek, and the finest hand-knotted up to the complexity of 1,000 knots per square inch Persian carpets. We approached Baltit Fort during the golden hours of the day. The entire spectacle of ancient architecture was lit up before us. As peaceful as it is today, there are iron-cladded reminders of the bloodshed which must have occurred in times past. Bart's repertoire includes knowledge of most man-made weapons. He shared his thoughts on some of the ancient weapons on display.
This one is hexagon barrel, probably 40 caliber, 338 to 50, somewhere in there. So the bullet would be 200 to 400 grain in some cases.
Really?
Yes, big bullet,
Big bullet, yeah.
big round.
You can take a bear down with it.
Take a horse down.
Good morning, Pakistan. The second of our trip. The gangster is on fire, and I've got Bart with me. Bart, what's up?
Good morning, Pakistan. We're rolling through the mountains. A little bit of light rain falling. It's about 60 degrees.
Tricky road conditions.
Tricky road conditions. Master driver at the wheel. Ford F-150 Raptor.
Subhanallah.
Well,
all right, Bart.
Yes.
I want you to speak some Urdu. Repeat with me.
Okay.
कैसे हैं आप सब?
कैसे हैं आप सब?
मैं enjoy कर रहा हूँ.
Enjoy कर रहा हूँ.
कमाल है भाई.
कमाल है भाई.
तबाही है भाई.
तबाही है भाई.
क्या? वाह क्या सीन है.
वाह क्या सीन है.
वाह क्या सीन है.
वाह क्या सीन है.
क्या बात है.
The northernmost point of Pakistan is referred to as Hunjara Pass, the place where Pakistan meets the 6,000-year-old civilization commonly known as China. It's only October, but winter is in full swing here. Tundra-like vegetation abound, all the marmots have gone into hibernation, the ibex are scavenging any green shrubbery they can find on the steep mountain cliffs, and we are crossing the solemn Atabad Lake. The rain on the lake has mystified the situation even further. When the sun is out, the eerily blue static lake has a different tale to tell. Although it was formed by a landslide less than 10 years ago, the water and the surroundings give off an ancient vibe. The path we are traveling on is a modern update to the ancient Silk Road. China, being the supplier of goods to the world, is not a recent phenomenon. Sure, the majority of products at Walmart are manufactured in China, but the old Silk Road is proof that this has been the case for millennia. The cathedral-like Pasukons hid their majesty on the day we passed. When, seen in all their glory, induce mixed feelings of horror and awe. As we ascend to one of the highest passes in Pakistan, rain is converted into snow. A herd of wandering goats caught our eye and we stopped to mingle with them.
So we're watching the goat and sheep herder move his herd from off the top of the mountain. This mountain, we're looking straight up, and the herd's moving back up the mountain to the ridge, back over to the vocal calls.
Not sure what Bart may have been expecting here, but our border with China is a modest low-security two-way passage.
So we're at the Pakistani-Chinese border. It's 25 degrees. Snow's been falling for about an hour now. This is the top of the world. But the sun's out.
You can show that world's highest ATM.
If you want to get the bump, get a cash. Get
Start working.
Cash.
Winter is coming. Must find shelter. Where did we come from? Where are we going? Who could live in such a place? The elusive snow leopard. The ghost. Now, this is not your average big cat. This is the Lone Ranger of the Himalayas. Rarely ever seen. He lives above 20,000 feet. His piercing blue eyes find victims from great distances and then begins his solitary but always lethal hunt. The picture you're looking at was taken by our gang. Can you believe this? Keep in mind, National Geographic sent a team of expert wildlife photographers with full gear to the peaks of these mountains. At times, they spent 3 months without a single shot. But the celebrity soul was able to capture the king of the mountain. The first one to speak was Bart when he proclaimed in his melodramatic voice, "That's a big cat." Immediately, Celebrity Soul went into action, drawing his side-holstered GoPro and took the shot. Now, the snow leopard is elusive by nature. he's the last one to become a celebrity. So when he ran up the mountain, our gang deployed not one but 2 drones in hot pursuit.
I saw a 4-legged animal on the road, and
This is a snow leopard.
Yeah, I know, but I told Q I thought it was a dog at first. Then I realized it was a long-tailed cat, and it's a snow leopard. He scaled straight up the wall, and he's now sitting in that crevice.
So after spending a great time in Hunza, आज हम जा रहे हैं towards स्कर्दू. गिलगित जाना होगा और गिलगित से आगे हमें जाना होगा स्कर्दू. रास्ता तो वैसे 2-3 घंटे का है, but because of construction going on, टाइम लगेगा उस पे. हम पूरा दिन कंज्यूम करेंगे. Just when we thought we'd seen it all, we were reminded by our Moon Ribbit guide that Skardu is our final destination. Now listen here, boys. Skardu was to be the most difficult of our journeys. It includes the northernmost point of the mighty Indus River. The second tallest mountain, K2, also resides here, and the roads, no matter how many times they are repaired, remain in dilapidated conditions. After a warm meal and cozy night at Shangri-La, we woke up to behold a beautiful lake surrounded by tall rocky mountains.
I'm putting my socks on. Zeeshan, filmmaster, is waiting patiently, I use that term liberally, for me to put shoes on so we can go walk across the lake, or around the lake. We're not going to walk across the lake and film a segment. Looks like an old DC-3, McDonnell Douglas maybe? I don't know. But the rear door doesn't speak to the same. Interesting actual aircraft.
The only thing I know about this, it got crashed somewhere in Skardu, and they brought it here.
Yes.
As a memory or something?
Yes.
Now there's I guess a cafe or a museum inside, I don't know.
Yes.
Skardu is home to Kaptu Palace and Shigar Fort. Due to time constraints, we were unable to visit these 2 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. They are still worthy of mentioning. So, this was the tour where Pakistan found a Texan, Bart Owens. He will always be remembered for his kindness, his sincere generosity, and his unique ability to recite a good old Texan one-liner under any circumstance. Repeat it, Bart. Say it.
Never kick a fresh turd on a hot day.
And what was that leg thing about? What was that? Busy as leg, one-leg man kicking asses. What was that?
Busy as a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest.
Yeah.
He's gonna